Cool. Hi. And that is why I say okay.
Hey friends. We're gonna dance it out a little bit.
Say okay. Cool. Hi. And that is why I say
Feel free to get up out of your chair.
Cool. Hi.
And shake it out.
Shall we go back to yesterday? But yesterday seems so far out of reach. All we have is right now. So make the best of it. No time to be meek. No time to be silent. No time for you to muzzle your voice. There's only time for you to put forth the efforts of making your dreams a reality. No time to make the wrong choice. All we have is right now. So make the best of it.
Welcome
and that is why I say okay. Cool.
Checking in with your body, noticing what is present,
that is why I say
emotions,
okay.
sensations.
Cool.
Adding a little movement, a little breath.
That is why I say okay. Cool.
What do you need to shake out and move through to actually arrive?
That is why I say okay. Cool. Hi. No time to keep holding back. I can spend all day telling you what we don't have time for, but why waste my breath on something like that? I would rather tell you to lift up your head and do what you can to shed those fears. I would rather tell you to focus on the next step, because steps can easily turn into a lot of wonderful years, where goals have been reached and you are finally at a place that you have only fantasized you would be, because you started enjoying each day as it came, and that light has delighted itself into each week. See, all we have is right now, so make the best of it. And that is why I say okay. Cool. Hi. And that is why I say okay. Cool. Hi. And that is why I say okay. Cool. Hi. And that is why I say okay. Cool. All we have is right now, so make the best of it.
Yeah, what does it feel like to be moving your feet on the ground? To actually reminding them they're on planet Earth. To get all the way here, right now.
Let me say it again for those who only learn repetitively. All we have is right now, so make the best of it. Tomorrow's not promised, so when it comes to the day and what's left of it, make sure you live as if it was your last. Don't stress over what you can't change and the things of the past. Dust off your clothes and smile.
And as you're ready,
you see in that reflective glass.
Come into this
Even
space.
If you have to force yourself to. Make the best of what life has to offer. But most
it's so good to
importantly,
see y'all.
show life the flyest version.
I would love to see in the chat.
Because all we have is right now.
Who's here
so
and where are you?
And that is why I say okay.
Where are you tuning in from?
Hi.
Oh, thanks, Shosh.
That is why I say okay.
So on it.
Cool.
Shosh just posted a link to the Spotify. It's called Okay Cool.
And that is why I say okay. Cool. Hi.
Yeah, Shermanology is such a great discovery in my own world this year. We've got Yuri in Toronto, Justine in near Toronto, Golan in Las Vegas, Michael in Catskill, Scott in Maryland, Curtis in Fresno, Tan in NYC, Jamie in Toronto, Toronto represent, Kyoka in NYC, Carl in Cleveland, Shoshi in Malibu, Rebecca in New York, Brooklyn, Oliver, Victoria's in LA, Emerson's in Denver, Jess here is in NYC. This is a really beautiful, intimate group we have. I think I know like every single person here. Jessica from Jersey, but visiting Florida. Nice. Good to see you. Just taking you all in. And I'd love to see in the chat what brought you here. Some of y'all are Get Down fam. Some of y'all are PhDJ graduates. Some of y'all are PhDJ 3.0 incoming students. And yeah, just want to hear in the chat your intentions for being here. Signed up and impatient to begin. Yes, Ed. So happy you're with us. Yuri's here because she loves PhDJ. Alumni. Signed up for 3.0. Victoria's with us. Here for community. Shosha's here to help more people DJ dance parties. Kyoka's in 3.0. Tan is curious about PhDJ, wondering if you should do this. Jamie, incoming, and love this community. Awesome. Rebecca wanting to check in, and a grad from 1.0. Curtis is in, here to get to know the community. Cool. I'm curious who you are seeking community in the city other than NYC. Seeking community in a city other than New York. Yeah. Get Down in the Circle community. Yay, Carwell. Oh, wow. I'm so sorry, Carwell. Thank you for being here with us. Love you so much. Here to enjoy and support PhDJ grad and the next year's PhDJ leadership team. Justine in house. Oliver's here to get to know more of the community. Golan's been in our orbit for a long time. Making space for more of you. Awesome. Love that, Michael. Cool. Well, sometimes we do these calls with more of a theme and more of an agenda, or like a curriculum, if you will. But this one is really just like, hey, let's hang out. I want to see everybody's faces. And so I'd love to start just with we do this in PhDJ classes and in our leadership team meetings, starting with some brags and some celebrations. Just would love to hear some of the beautiful things that you are up to, especially music and dance related. And A is feeling overwhelmed. Oh yeah, let's do one more round of shares before we start. I would love to know 1 or 2 words for how you're feeling in your body right now. And so if overwhelmed is the first word that comes to mind, like what does that actually physically feel like in your body? Is it a heaviness? Is it a spinniness? Like what's the texture of it? Just bringing these bodies into presence in this meeting as well. It can be really easy in Zoom meetings to get really, really head focused and idea focused, and just taking a moment to welcome our physical beings and our nervous systems into this field. Lots of sharp stimulation on the superficial parts of my body and skin. tightness in neck, warmth in belly. Chest has flutters and thighs feel heavy, tight squeezing in stomach, fluttery chest, tight shoulders, sleepy eyes, edge state, tensed throat constriction. Also, that on the edge of jumping into a pool feeling, tight, closed, and heavy. These are really beautiful body reveals, y'all. Bottled up, feeling hopeful, sore throat, and hungry. At any time throughout this call, feel free to take care of your basic needs. Stay hydrated, eat snacks. Relaxed and aware of fatigue, especially my eyes. Thank you. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome in. So good to see you. All right. So, fam, I want to hear some brags, especially from those of you who are newly DJing, graduates of PhDJ, celebrating some wins around your community building, what you've been serving, or if you've just joined, maybe you just got your controller. I want to hear it, and you can raise your hand. So in this meeting, we'll call on folks by raising Zoom hands as opposed to physical hands, just to keep it easy. Don't be shy. Justine.
I'm just going to go first when you say don't be shy. So some of you know this, but I have created a monthly ecstatic dance in the tiny town where I live. And I built a website and I networked and I made a Facebook page and Instagram posts and found a venue and all of that. And we had our first dance on Friday night. And 17 people came and really moved their bodies. It was beautiful to watch. I was so anxious at the time. I couldn't feel it, but it really was a big success, like beyond what I could have hoped for. And I am in the midst of running my second therapeutic dance group for patients. I'm a psychiatrist, for those of you who don't know. And this is my second 5-week therapeutic dance group. And the first one was amazing. And so far, this one is also proving to be really beautiful. So thank you. Those are my brags.
That's so exciting. And Justine sent us a video of the ecstatic dance for a tiny town in Canada. Every single person was fully, you can have a room of 17 people and it can be boring, but every single person was activated and totally in their bodies and fully going for it, which is really major, especially it seems like you are not only just launching this event, it's like your first ecstatic dance, but there's not an ecstatic dance community in that area. So it's not like there's already a field of people who get together and trust each other and move their bodies and do their thing together. That was the first one. And that video was they are doing it. This is happening. And so proud of you. And I'm curious if there's anything, would it feel appropriate to share any of the feedback from the folks in the therapeutic dance group, experiences they've had, or what it's like for them?
For sure, because I can keep it really anonymous. I'm just warning everyone, my internet connection's really bad, so just raise your hands if I'm cutting out. But in the therapeutic dance group, it's for people with OCD and trauma histories. And there are just some amazing things that happened in just 5 weeks. Someone went from being completely frozen to dressing up for every dance and really going for it. Someone really did amazing work with their body dysmorphia, went from realizing that they could dance with embarrassment rather than avoiding dancing to avoid embarrassment. And it was revolutionary for that person. And people were talking about experiencing the play and the joy of the children they were before the trauma they experienced. Those are just a few things. And then some people have been talking about dancing at the grocery store when the music comes on, when they wouldn't have even moved their bodies at all before. It's just really beautiful. It was beyond my wildest dreams of what I could do with a pilot, like 2 pilot groups like this. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, it's so special. I mean, you've shared a bit of what folks have experienced in that group, and hearing that feedback is like, those are things that I would hope an everyday civilian would get from dancing, you know, as a best outcome. And these folks are coming in with like really, really, really deep, tight patterns and connecting to such profound insights in just a few sessions. It's like so amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. Thank you for sharing. Jess.
Hey everyone. I'm Jess, and I've got 2 kind of exciting things that I can share. One of them is I kind of made a big technical move and I ordered a record box controller. I'm noticing I'm noticing that a lot of the gigs that I want to do require me to be able to play on a CDJ. And in order for me to even get started with that, I need to know how the record box works. So it's on its way to me now, and I'm gonna make the leap to learn a whole new software. It's kind of a big deal because before last year I didn't even own a computer. Yeah, so a year later I have a computer now, and I'm a DJ now, and I have the confidence to try out a whole new software and a whole new decks. So yeah, Jess. And then the other thing that I'm pretty excited about is that I found a space. I live in New York City, and real estate is like a thing here, and finding a space that just works for what you're looking for, or just is available or affordable at all, is really hard and intimidating. But recently I've connected with this space on East 4th Street called Wow Cafe Theater. And it's owned by a collective of all female, lesbian, non-binary, and trans women. And I'm joining the collective and going to start throwing dance parties there. On Tuesday next week, I'm going to present my proposal for a dance party, and it's going to be voted either yes or no. Most likely it's going to be a yes, because my idea is pretty cool. And yeah, I feel like it's the right space for me to get started with something. Yeah. Hi.
That's so awesome. I did not know that you didn't have a computer last year.
No, I didn't have a computer. Like whenever I was interviewing for the course last year, I didn't even have a computer. And then whenever I got into the program, I got a computer. So yeah, like I hadn't even really used Zoom before. I hadn't done any like computer stuff until PhDJ. I just kind of avoided it.
I am flabbergasted. I didn't know that. How was that for you?
Honestly, I just kind of like used the gust of nerves that I felt around the program to sort of push me over the technology edge as well. I I really, really wanted to do PhDJ. And it was like, all right, well, if you want to do PhDJ, then you have to get a computer, like so I used my desire to fuel me and motivate me. And now I'm pretty good on like computers and stuff. And if you hear my DJ sets, you'll know.
Y'all, would you actually drop your SoundCloud in the chat?
Yeah, sure.
It's
Let me find it.
Jess here is a force of nature.
Oh,
Like extraordinary.
okay.
Thanks,
Share,
love.
copy. Yeah, see, computer things just take me a little while. Everybody. Paste. Did you get it?
Yep, it's there.
See, I can do hard things.
Thank you. Oh, thanks, Jess. So before we dive into whatever Michael's got for us, I just love to take a moment to let those two shares sink in. I know for me, there's a lot of information inputs in my brain these days, like more than ever, maybe, with news, with family, with work, with all of the 17 inboxes. And so I don't want this meeting to just be more input. I want to actually give our bodies like a chance to digest. So in hearing our friends, noticing what's landing, how we might feel a little bit different than we felt when we first came on this call. And how it feels to actually be in a room of folks who love the dance, who love music, who, feel called in one way or another to this realm. Actually rest together for a little bit. And I just noticed my body take a big breath, like, all right, we don't have to rush right now for this next hour that we're here. There's no rushing. There's nothing to accomplish. And if there's anything you're noticing that you want to share in the chat, I'd love to see that. Feels good to slow down. There's nothing to accomplish makes the sharp feeling in my skin disappear. Ooh. Appreciating moments when we are reminded to connect with the body. Didn't realize how much I was absorbing without processing. Yeah. Yeah, if you think about it, our brains and our nervous systems evolved many, 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 many thousands of years ago before screens. Like, they're not adapted for this. It's so one of the reasons that I've been finding practices like dance and meditation too, and nervous system work in general, essential these days. It's like non-negotiable, just to give our bodies an opportunity to function, like to function properly. All our work feels is brain pumping slower. Feels good to go from doing to being. Grateful for the opportunity to be with all of you on the same journey. It's a time for fewer inputs, but only a few voices that will remind you of that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm always really grateful for my reminders. They're essential. Awesome. Okay, Michael, I feel like now I'm ready.
Yo, okay. I wanted to go on after Jess and say that I will brag for Jess. Jess, I started a party before the PhDJ ended. I just started my own party. Or created it, and I started it in November, which is a little bit after. And so my brag is this. I'm having a 1-year anniversary party. I've had about 9 of them. It's almost monthly since the first party I did in November last year. The club owner was like, I want you here monthly. Can you do it? Yes, I can. Yes, I will. I've sold out half the time. And Jess closed for me. Like, I DJ'd and then she went after. And it wasn't that she was closing for me. Jess was so good that it was almost like I was opening for her. That's what it was like. And Jess had half a third of the experience that I had, still a student. That's how great this program is when you put the work into it that Jess did. Where someone like me who had double the experience as Jess could say something like that with love and without jealousy. It was a really proud moment as a coach, but it was also like an honor to work with her. So that's a double brag. And I'll brag for our other coach, Lex, who is not here because she was busy on her anniversary party in England, in Bristol, and this was her 9,000th time selling out of her party that is twice as big as mine, and in a really niche crowd, and it goes on fucking Wednesdays. So I'm gonna brag for Lex too. That's all I wanted to say, and I love you, Jessica from Jersey. I love the energy that comes off from like right here is so awesome. Like, I can't wait to get to know you a little bit more. I see you over there.
You know that's Jessica Chaos, right?
I thought it was Miss Chaos. All right.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
We had multiple. Me and Michael had multiple conversations about your name, Jessica. It's like you already had. It's nice to be born with a DJ name. I can attest to that. Oh, thanks, Michael. Are you sure there's nothing you want to brag about? Are you sure there's nothing you want to brag about for you?
Something more? It's this. I could brag about myself all day. Are you thinking of something in particular, or you just wanted to?
I mean, there's multiple things that I could think of. Medicine disco, primal disco.
Yeah. So I built Primal Disco, and it's a hit up here. I live in upstate New York. People from the city travel up now and stay at Davi's house. People are leaving the city on the weekends and coming up here and coming to my party. And then I started another thing called Medicine Disco, which is my sort of middle finger, cigarette smoky version of ecstatic dance. It's very healing. It's really beautiful. It's what people might expect to receive in an ecstatic dance, but I don't put a lot of emphasis on transforming. That's sort of up to the moment. And I did a series of 4. It was a very big hit. And I'll be looking to do more of those. And I am sitting in front of a calendar. Last one until Shoshi. I'm sitting here, and I just had a meeting with a new venue, a giant venue, to do another monthly thing there, and collaborating with more people up here. So I'm squeezing in performance dates. It's very exciting. Thank you for letting me expand on my brag.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I got to go to Medicine Disco a few weeks ago, and it was the best dance I'd had since I hurt my neck last year, or 10 months ago, whatever that was. It was so awesome. So good. Like, can I say it? I feel very happy with the expansion of ecstatic dance as a phenomenon. I think that the world needs it deeply, and it's really cool to see dance being almost like the new yoga, like what yoga was 20 years ago. People are starting to catch on, and there's no training for ecstatic dance DJs. There's no like protocol for what it actually means. There's no requirement for those DJs or space holders to be trained in anything, or to follow any kind of anything. So what I've noticed actually is that when I attend ecstatic dances, sometimes my nervous system actually gets really dysregulated. And it just happened to me this week, where I was like, dance is my happy place. Like, the dance floor, it's all I talk about is how healing it is. And I've gone to dances where I'm like, why do I feel worse in the middle of this? And have to step out and recalibrate my own system, and then re-enter like with a different approach, kind of knowing what I'm getting myself into. So I just have a really big appreciation for you, Michael, in creating Medicine Disco and intentionally creating an environment where it's more specific, and it's very well held. And I got to have a really, really, really beautiful dance there last month. Yes, no standards. That is the word I was looking for, Shosh. Thank you for that. So before we hear from Shosh, let's take a moment to feel our bodies again. Remember the backside, like the chair under us and behind us. If you need to look around and orient to the room you're in, integrating that new information fully, breathing. And Shosh, what do you have for us?
Hi, everyone. I have a shared brag, which involves Rebecca, who I met in PhDJ 1.0. We were students together. And I just had a really big gig, like a career peaking moment, being on DJing on Michael Franti's Soul Shine at Sea cruise. And Rebecca was there. And because we have this shared language of PhDJ and everything we went through together in the program, and the understanding of, like you were saying, Tasha, like, we have standards. We know what we're bringing with intention. And I was able to go to Rebecca and say, like, hey, we're going to put this dance party together. And you and I rocked it. Rebecca rocked it. Like, she brought unicorn snot, which if you don't know what that is, maybe I'll let her explain it. But like, we understood that holding this space is so much more about than just the music that you're DJing. It's very much about the music that you're DJing, but you just helped me hold that space in a way that I didn't even have to communicate with language and words, because we knew like where the people were and what needed to happen and how to like bring the energy up and how to keep it going and how to spread light. I mean, Rebecca had these butterfly wings, and she kept, every time I turned around, there was a new person wearing the wings. She kept like turning out these butterflies onto the dance floor, and there were headdresses and glow sticks, and you were just like more than a hype woman, like just a party goddess dancer thing. And I really believe like everything that we did in PhDJ 1.0 through the program, that's like your leadership. And so I got to see that, and there was no preparation. It was all improv, but it was based on what, you know, the training we've had together. Love you, sister.
I love you so much. I love you so fucking much. You did such an incredible job, and I was so excited just to be asked to like support and fly around. And unicorn snot is the sparkles that everybody wanted to be covered in, and and the wings, that realizing that everyone wants to wear wings. I mean, everybody wants to dance and open their heart. And so I actually found a space that in a lot of ways suits me better than being behind the DJ booth. I like to spread the love all around and dance around and dance with people and help bring them out of the corners and onto the stage. And yeah, so that was really fun, and thank you for the opportunity. You fucking killed it. You rocked it so hard.
Oh, you empowered all the wallflowers.
And I basically showed up because I love Shoshana, just FYI. Yeah.
Oh, y'all are the best. Now I want some unicorn snot. When you first said it, I was like, that sounds very questionable. But then now that I know what it is, I want some. Shosh, how many sets did you play on the cruise?
I played 5 sets in 3 days. It was epic. Yeah. And I have to say, my nervous system, I was completely prepared for whatever came up. And I've only been DJing since December of 2022 after I graduated. Took me a couple months to get out there after graduation. Mama Tasha had to come to my house and get me out of the house. I was a little scared, a scared little bunny. But since then, like, I'm able to walk onto these gigs with big production teams and big production companies, and I'm bringing my controller and I'm feeling prepared. And like I love to improvise, and I feel like we have to improvise in this world. And the only thing that makes me feel good about improvising is that I feel prepared. And then I'm like, okay, whatever happens, it's going to be okay. My headphones didn't work at the beginning of the dance party, and that Rebecca was there, and I was just like, okay, well, then I'll do it without headphones. And then Julian, my partner, fixed them, and just whatever comes up, I'm like, I'm prepared because I trained, I studied, I have this community, I have, everything I've learned, which is like, even if that's the only thing, how to regulate my nervous system when I show up to a gig, that's worth the tuition.
I'd like to brag for Shoshana for a moment, because that moment could have been a meltdown moment, like shit's not working. Oh my God. And may have in fact been for me, but she regulated her nervous system. She stayed calm. She just took a deep breath. She was like, okay, she surrendered that moment. Like, she's going to make it work either way. And it was beautiful to witness. So proud of you. And then boom, back on. But yeah, that was remarkable. That was beautiful. And I recognize a lot of the teaching within this program was around that. Exactly that.
Pat your back, Tasha.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's just good. I got the Palo Santo in here, you know. Thanks, y'all. Oh, we got Curtis. What you got for us, Curtis? Curtis is an incoming student who's also just an incredible embodied being. Yes. Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
I did it. I did it. I invested into a new deck. I had been DJing with like a portable, like Serato, like cute deck, and it worked for like I first got it in 2020 and been DJing like in Central America with that. And you know, because I signed up for PhDJ, I took the plunge and just invested into a whole new DJ deck and software with Tractor. And so I'm really stoked just playing with it right now and just what I know, and excited to really excited to get into this and learn and get to know like all of you who are in this community. It's really inspiring to hear what you guys are doing, and yeah, to learn with you guys and to be encouraged to do this myself. It's like dreams coming true for sure. So this is like a huge step in the direction of where I want to go, and just I'm seeing how much potential and creativity is possible with more capacity to create with a great deck. So yeah, this is my brag and show and tell. Yeah, that's me. I'm Curtis. My DJ name is Mr. Curtis.
Welcoming Mr. Curtis. Is that an S2?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Jessica was wondering. Tractor S2 is a great place to start. That's my like super portable. It's what I took to Burning Man. It's light, super light. It's like what, 3 pounds, 4 pounds or something? Yeah.
Like a
Easy peasy. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, easy peasy. I think so.
I'm gonna just out. Sometimes I feel really awkward when I talk on Zoom. It happens. I almost went to our team chat just now to be like, y'all, I can't wait for you to meet Curtis. He's so awesome. But I just decided to say it out loud to everybody here. We met in Nevada City on the dance floor, and I was struck right away by the safety that I felt in dancing with you, and just your embodied connection, which is wizard-like. And I'm just so excited for you to get to translate that awareness and everything you've already done and cultivated into this work and into holding space as a DJ. Like, you're gonna be such medicine to a lot of people.
Thanks, Tasha. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, everyone, it was like there was no words spoken like between me and Tasha. It was just a dance, and it was like, wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the first time we danced.
Yeah.
Was it Contact Improv, I think?
Yep.
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 Yeah. Your body just knows when you're safe and when you're not with someone. And my body was like, yep, this is a good one. I will dance with this one anytime. Yeah. All right. So that was like a lot. That was a really juicy brag session. I want to make sure that we have time for questions, shares, other shares. This is a space for us to bring what's here. So if you've got questions about the program, whether you're in or you're not, if you have questions for the team, if you have questions for me about whatever, about music, about dance, about our plans, like about our morning routine, whatever you want. Daphna, is this the Daphna? I think it is.
It is. I know okay. My camera's not working, but hi everyone. I'm Daphna. I also go by Maiko. My pronouns are they, them. I am wearing a green sweater, a bald head, and a tiny dog resting under my armpit, just to give you a visual description. And sadly, I also have my work computer in front of me. So then, Tasha, when you were like, let's just breathe, I was like, oh my God, what? I forgot. I forgot. So as always, Tasha, I'm so grateful to be in space with you again. I've been following along with how PhDJ has been growing, and it's super exciting. So my question for you, one, since you mentioned morning routine, how do you keep your phone out of your room to give yourself rest before and after bed? That's just like personal life advice I feel like you would have for me. But my more dance related question, so Tasha, you know this, we've been in touch. I just saw your email back today. I recently went from participant to organizer and organized a ecstatic conscious dance space specifically for trans people in Los Angeles. A huge reason, like exactly like what you said, Tasha, when you're on the dance floor, you know if you're safe or not. And I stopped going to conscious dance for a long time, and I was really down on myself about it until I realized that like I don't really feel super safe in a lot of dance spaces because of how I identify and because of who I don't know is going to be on the dance floor. And I'm just curious, in your experience, I guess is for the whole PhDJ team. I mean, one, I'm curious if you have plans, what your plans are for catering to the safety of marginalized groups. Obviously, I'm specifically interested in trans, but there's like obviously so many beyond that. And two, just like any general wisdom that you have for creating that safety. Because last piece, and then I'll stop talking, is currently our organizing team is entirely white, which we're working to change, but already we know there's an inherent gap in terms of the safety that we could be cultivating. And so I'm just curious how you account for perspectives that you may not naturally have access to. That's it. There you go. Go ahead. Talk at me.
Oh my gosh, so juicy. Thank you for that. I might need to ask you for prompts to make sure I like get to all of this, and also want to welcome. I so wish that Lex was here. Lex is the one who is currently throwing Soft Butch in Bristol, UK. Actually, maybe they probably have finished by this point, but so her party is for folks who identify as soft butch.
Oh my God, that was me in 2016.
Yeah, like and it's very, I mean, it's not just soft butch, it's like lesbian, gay, queer, trans, non-binary, very like open space. So I it could be even cool to do like an Instagram live with Lex about that.
Oh, I love that. Because
she's learned a lot. Like a lot of things that she didn't even know that she didn't know about people's experiences. You know, there's so many things that we can offer, you know, sometimes even offering somebody into more awareness of their body can be triggering, depending on what's going on with their relationship with their body. So much of it is about asking the folks you want to serve. Because of course, the different things, the different techniques and tools and approaches and strategies you're going to want to implement, it's going to really depend on who you're wanting to serve, because the needs are going to be super different. So I would just start with really asking the folks you're serving who are coming to your events, what was your experience like? Was there any point where stuff came up for you that you want to share? Like, is there feedback you have? Like, the more specific you can be with your questions, the better. And taking time to have conversations with them and just being really available, especially when you're at the beginning of something. I think just that will open up a huge well of information. And I want to start with that and see how that lands for you. Is that helpful?
Yeah, for sure. I think the specificity of it and the personal of it, as opposed, we like have a feedback form and then like forgot to check it for weeks, So like what good did that do us? And we're trying to create more community space. Like after the dance, we rented the like gorgeous dance space that we have for an extra hour, just so that we can all just like hang out and talk about the experience and be able, because we really emphasize not talking on the dance floor and like speaking with our bodies, we then like get to speak with our mouths after. And I feel like that space is where we can get that very candid feedback. Obviously, like a form is good for something like anonymous, for example. But yeah, that does. I mean, I'm curious how it's been with PhDJ. Have you found like we're missing this perspective? How do we incorporate it? Because asking the people who are there is a really good idea. How do you ask the people who aren't there, who like don't feel safe enough to like enter the space yet,
Mm-hmm. It's an excellent question. Around getting feedback, you could also do something like having a physical form at the event. So a piece of paper that folks, and it could be like, how are you feeling before you walked in here? What brought you here? How did you hear about it? Like, what did it feel like when you walked in? What was your experience like being here? Did anything come up? How do you feel differently as you leave? And that's all going to give you really good information about how they found you, what motivated them to come. Because of course, getting someone to show up in a physical location these days especially is a big challenge. There's so many draws on our attention. There's so many different places that people can be. So knowing what it was that that brought someone out can be really helpful. And it can also be a way to it's like there can be a missed opportunity if somebody comes and they have a shitty moment. Like that, there's so much room in there to create a relationship if you give them an opportunity to share about it and you actually hear them and listen and take that feedback in, as opposed to them having a shitty moment and they go home and they never come back.
Right.
And that's an act of generosity on their part to be willing to share, and appreciating that. But yeah, I know that Lex has done that at Soft Butch, is like actually having physical things that folks can fill out right there, because it's hard if you send an email with a survey. It's like, how many emails do we have asking us to fill out surveys? So many.
Yeah, 100%. And also like we got in the survey, somebody had left pretty harsh feedback for us, which was so useful, but also had felt so impersonal. It wasn't anonymous. So it was feedback that we could have addressed in the moment. And that person never came back. It's exactly like what you said. And so mostly what I'm left with is just like this feeling of guilt and wishing that we had been able to talk. And so like definitely living and learning. We've had those pieces of paper up, but I love your questions. It makes me want to have like the butcher paper up at the door with a question of like, what are you leaving behind? Or like, what are you bringing in? Just like a moment, even just a reflection moment before people come in, just to stop and think for themselves. I think that's
totally
beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. And actually having people who are there at the entrance, greeting and welcoming and orienting people to the space, there to answer any questions, and folks who are there saying goodbye. who are, you know, there to hand out a feedback card, to hand out a next event thing. They're there to receive any, and then of course, like, I mean, this is something, there is so much in this topic and in this question. There's so much that you can do.
I'm like, when do I pay you for the consulting fee, Tasha? Oh my God. So
I mean, that's the beautiful thing about these calls. Like, it's an AMA. It's an opportunity.
Yeah, really amazing. I do want to make sure if other people like had questions. I don't want to take up all the time, but
no, this is super valuable. You can also have a safety team. You can have a team of folks who are on the ground, got their eyes and ears out, and noticing, is anybody having a shitty time? and highlighting them. Like, if you want them to wear something or just be identified in some ways, these people are resources for you. That can do so much to create a sense of safety. And yeah, I think that's some good stuff to start with.
Sure is. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tasha. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Your question about asking for perspectives that are outside of the internal perspectives is huge one. For me, generally, it's about being proactive and just asking folks who are outside, like people who are in my circle, who are friends or acquaintances, who are not inside of this little bubble, who have different perspectives of like, how does this website come off to you? How does that invite seem? Like, what about this turns you off? What about this indicates to you that you wouldn't belong here?
Yeah.
And then also have worked with some consultants around inclusivity and mediation, and with those questions, just always being aware of those folks' times is really valuable. So if you're asking a friend, they're doing you a huge favor, and it's really nice to pay people if you can, to like consult around that. And then your first question, how do I keep my phone out of my room? I don't. My phone is my white noise machine and my alarm. So
wow, that was incredible memory. I forgot I asked that question. And lastly, are there any PhDJs in the Los Angeles area?
Yeah. Shoshana.
Hi, Shoshana. Okay, good to know.
Hi, a coach even.
Oh,
loves to get together in person.
Okay,
She
fantastic. Samesies.
Yay.
Cool. I'll grab your info from Tasha. Also, like, not to impose, but if Lex is ever interested in chatting, I would love to hear her experience running queer focus groups for sure.
Yeah, we can link you up. Yeah. What neighborhood are you in, love?
I'm in like the Sawtell Brentwood area. I came here to go to grad school and never left. Are you close?
Yeah, well, I'm Malibu, which is not close to anything, but my sister's in that area. So
I don't have any Malibu friends yet. Dope. Well, all the cool people are always on the east side, so I'm thrilled.
Yay. West side. West side, bro.
Great to meet you. Yeah, and hi, Rebecca. We can connect too. Yay. Okay, dope. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, Victoria's also in LA. And Oliver is going to be in there. Wow. Drop it in the chat. Let's take it to the chat, LA folks.
Where the party is.
Yay.
Also, Daphna, if you want to try turning on your video, Yuri may have fixed it. I want to see the dog on the arm.
Hi, everyone. More importantly.
Oh my gosh.
There's the tiny girl.
It's so good to see you, Daphna.
Yeah, you too,
Thanks
Tasha.
for showing up.
Hi, everyone.
And doing it and doing the thing. We met in the kitchen, I think, at Garrison Institute the week before the pandemic started.
The week before official shutdown, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like sweating bodies on top of each other from all over the world. And we were like, we don't totally know if this is okay, but it like 100% fueled me through lockdown.
Yeah, it was major. And we were like, wash your hands while we sweat all over each other.
I mean, Tasha, we met in the kitchen, but like I've been going to the get down. I think I actually went to a another workshop with you, like a Kundalini workshop or something. So I had like I'd been a like real stan from well before. I remember when we met, I was like, "Oh, hi, it's so good to hi." I was like, I don't know how to talk to my favorite DJ.
I'm not too bad though, it turns out. I don't bite.
No, you're just very spiritually connected to yourself, and I was super intimidating because I was like looking for growth. But now look at me. Look how casually I'm talking. I'm not feeling self-conscious at all.
I always feel self-conscious basically. It's why I have to dance.
Facts.
And you're doing a damn thing. I'm so proud of you.
Taking inspiration for sure.
It's awesome. All right. Tan.
It's so nice to hear all your stories and all your experiences. I recently reconnected with dancing. I did the Edge workshop with Tasha. I used to go to the Get Down very, very frequently pre-pandemic. So I'm feeling a lot more connected to my body. And I'm contemplating doing the PhDJ program. And I was like, I just want to know more. I'll tell you why I'm contemplating and the context of it, right? I moved from India to the US about 10 years ago. And being a woman in India is extremely hard. It's extremely hard in your body. It's extremely hard in your mind. It's a beautiful country, but it's hard. And I really found myself in this country. Like I really found myself, and Tasha really helped me connect to myself thereafter. And I am at a crossroads in life. I'm a mom of a 2-year-old. I'm probably going to have another kid, not for the next 1 year, but I really feel my body wanting it. And I have to go back to my country. And that terrifies me. Life requires me to go back in a few years. And I am petrified of going back. And so I'm trying to reframe it as, well, I get to go back as whoever I want, right? Like I get to reinvent myself. I get to bring gifts to my homeland. And so who do I want to show up as? And this dancing and connecting with my body and healing and finding myself has been so enriching for me. I wonder if this is a gift I can take back. And if this is there's a movement I can start there, be connected with. And I still want a community that I'm grounded in and connect with, you know? So it's just, all of these thoughts are looming in my head, and I'm like, should I? But the practical constraints is I'm a mom of a 2-year-old who works her ass off to make a living and put food on the table, right? So that's the tension I'm trying to deal with. And hence I have come to this group for perspective and advice.
Oh, thank you for sharing. I'm so happy you're here. And I actually kind of want to open the floor to if anybody else, like if any of our leadership team or grads want to chime in and feel resonant. But first, I just want to, I think what I can offer you in this moment is seeing you at the edge and talking to you at the edge, which for those who don't know is an embodied workshop that me and Nico Allen lead in New York. Like you were so lit up. You were so, it was like water in the desert kind of feeling of like this dance. Yes. Like, it was just such a yes for you. And listen to that. Whatever it needs to look like, listen to that. And then I think maybe Michael, did you have something?
Hi, Tan. I always stayed in the background and no one ever knew who I was, but I have absolutely dropped some sweat with you at a get down or body language party many a times, but I never let anyone know who I was. So this is really cool. Without giving away too much, what you shared with us is what we are taught in PhDJ. And I don't want to give away too much, but what you just described about going home and bringing this new gift back is like you just don't know. You don't know the course, but like, holy shit, you just, I don't know. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to act confusing. So this is like a selfish time for me to just be like, that was really special for me. But really, like, if you were to go through this course, you will remember this moment that is really vague and disruptive and be like, I got it. I really get it. I do not have a child. And I wake up for the past 10 years, I'm 43 in March. And for definitely the past 10 years, I have called my mother and then many of my friends with children since then and said, I don't understand how you do this. I don't have kids. I don't understand how you do anything. How do you brush your teeth? I don't understand how you do anything. But what I will tell you is when I joined PhDJ, and I'm still the owner of 3 businesses. I had just moved into this home that I'm in that was in awful condition and had to redo it from scratch, but no help because it was COVID and no contractor would come in the house and we didn't want them in the house. I was able to do what I needed to do at the time that I could do it. And as long as you are elastic, the course can be elastic with you. I just wanted to like tell you that is a thing. I can say that with confidence. But I also recognize where you're at. And I know how hard it is without knowing how hard it is because I don't think I could do it. Have a kid. I got the dog. That's enough. So honor to all parents. But I had a really, really hefty amount of responsibility on my plate in addition to PhDJ, and it actually helped. PhDJ helped me manage all of those other things better. That what I was learning about myself and about my relationship to other people and to my work and to my responsibilities and stuff, it all was so tangled, so tight, and PhDJ just kind of let this open up a little bit. Not DJing, that didn't do it. It was what we had to do in the course to become who we are now as DJs made my relationship with all the other things in my life so much easier. I had to cry a lot, but it did clear some things up, and I hope I don't sound like a salesperson. It's just honesty. It's just, this is my story, so I'm not gonna hold back. Okay, thanks. Thank you for sharing that too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Also want to note that Kyoka shared in the chat. Kyoka is joining us in January, and she's a mama. We've definitely had mamas in PhDJ. We definitely had 2 this last year. Yeah, you're both in New York. I think Kyoka's in Brooklyn. There she is.
Also, sorry to interrupt. Tara, two teenagers and a full-time job, and like very active in her community. So she definitely, and she's, I think, in Brooklyn. So someone a resource.
Yeah, Tara, Lena, Sky, awesome mamas, badass mamas who, the ones with teenagers are a little embarrassed by their DJing mamas, but that's okay. Yeah, does that feel helpful? Is there anything more?
I guess where can I practically, where can I find out like the time commitment and what it takes to what it takes to be fully present and fully sink into it, and
Mhm.
what it takes to like adequate, like this is what adequate looks like, and this is what you shouldn't do it if these are your constraints, right?
Yes, excellent question. I think, Yuri, will you drop our website? Yes, perfect. In the curriculum page and also on the FAQ page, there's some notes about that. What I like to say is that, it's for real. It's a commitment. It's a big investment of energy. It is 2 classes a week. They're 90 minutes each. Outside of class, and maybe we want to have some grads chime in about this. What I usually tell people is like, if you can show up live for class at least 70% of the time and catch the replays when you need to of the ones that you need to miss. And if you can put in 4 hours a week on practice, whatever the like classwork is outside, whether that's DJ practice, reading, writing, you'll feel current. You'll feel like I'm with this, I'm doing it, I am aware of what's happening, it's getting into my body, I am improving, things are happening. Of course, it's music, so it's infinite. And like Shosh, who joined us and was not working at the time, just turned it into a PhD program for herself and worked on it, I don't know, 40 hours a week or something. It's like you can go as deep as you want. Like there's so much that we offer. And we also recognize like a lot of people coming into the course have full-time jobs, they have kids, they are entrepreneurs, like there's a lot going on. So we wanted to make it reasonable and doable for more folks than just the ones who are like, I'm going to make this my graduate degree. Yeah. And that's right, Justine adding like everything is available for life. All the replays, like the whole course, like you have it forever. So if there's something you miss or something you want to go back to, like it's always there for you.
That gives me hope. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'd love if you feel the call to apply and you like, actually, for those who are curious about the program, I highly recommend applying because the application itself is a cool experience. It will be clarifying for you. The questions in there will help you think through like what's actually alive in you. And thank you, Yuri, for dropping that in the chat. And, if it feels like something you want to go for and feels aligned, we'll jump on a call. We'll talk it through. Thanks, Justine. Yeah, and I would be so delighted to talk with you. It's really cool to have you here. We got 10 minutes left on the clock, and I definitely want to finish with some dancing. So there he is. All right, go on.
All right, I want to just dovetail off of something Michael said because I had a moment of epiphany this week, it was born out of anger and frustration, and I don't know, I'm not going to get into any details, but it was yelling it out and talking to all these people in my head in the shower and saying to myself, I was talking to my sister and I came to the conclusion of saying, I have all this crap in my life that I take from all these people I can't take anymore. And suddenly, as I heard this in my head, I was like, oh my God, I take all this crap from all these people in my life. I shouldn't do that. I'm not going to do that anymore. And it was so empowering. And I'm not able to manifest it the way that I want to. I can feel it even like today. I had moments of like little voice in my head was like, this is crap. I shouldn't be dealing with this and taking it. So I'm really intrigued by that aspect of, you know, the untangling of those threads of finding that. So maybe I'll fill out the application. At least I can do that, even if I can't do the rest. And I have an intellectual question, which I don't think we should touch right now, because I don't understand ecstatic dance versus conscious dance versus intent. To me, it's all the same thing. Ever since going to like Grateful Dead shows and dancing around and realizing that nobody's looking at you because everybody else is dancing around, that sort of thing. And to me, there's that thread that's common to all of them. So maybe one day we can have an intellectual discussion of what, you know, ecstatic dance is versus the get down versus, you know, whatever else you want to call it. And I have one practical question that I really love if you can answer, which is the one about the morning routine. Seriously, I have, and I'll take this from Tasha and anyone else who wants, I have the hardest time getting my ass out of bed in the morning. And it's a combination of all kinds of, you know, psychological and blah, 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 and stuff like that. But I have the hardest time with it. And I'm looking for anything, you know. I thought about, we do these portal dances with Justine on the weekends. And I thought about clipping out the little parts where you're laying on the floor and Tasha's kind of prompting you and your body relaxes and you're held, and using one of those. I don't know. I can't figure it out. So really, we can ask you about your morning routine. So please, somebody tell me how they get a dog. I killed a cactus. I don't know that I can be responsible enough to take care of it. I have a plant that's doing very well in my new home, so I'm glad about that.
I see that. At what time do you go to bed?
It varies wildly. I think it's connected to that. It's not like, and then there's like, you know, people are always like, oh, you should sleep for 8 hours, and oh, you don't need to sleep that much. And my body does naturally wake up at a certain time, like, but I love the snooze and I love rolling over to the cool side of the pillow and falling back into my dreams for a minute to sort of be like, oh, that's who that was or something. So
go to bed early. That's my what I've learned is just there's actually a book called Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life, I believe. Something like that. It's based in Ayurveda. And it was really, really helpful for me. I think you'll dig that book. Jess, are you having a get out of bed advice moment?
Yes. Hi. So what helps me to get out of bed is, and it's an attention thing. PhDJ got me out of bed in the morning because I always had homework or some reading to do or some DJing to do or some kind of music discovery. I also, you know, love to lay in bed for hours and be on my phone, and you know, sometimes it's rest and sometimes it's stagnancy, and sometimes it's like a little mix of the two. But whenever I was in the program, my focus and my attention and my my focus and my attention was on the material that we were working on and the homework that I didn't have to do but wanted to do. And it's the thing that got my physical body out of the horizontal state to the upright state, because it's a choice that you have to make, and the thing that helps me make the choice is the interest, is the attention, is the, you know, so that's what I have to say.
Thanks, Jess. Curtis, do you have a get out of bed thought?
It's the piggyback off what Jess said. It's like the interest. like finding something that I have found something that generally interests me, which is like, I really love seeing the sun come up, and how much just that experience of watching the sun come up affects my consciousness, because it puts me in this state. I've noticed it puts me in this state of like, wow, I have a whole day ahead of me. I have started this day with the sun. And I notice when I do sleep in now, it's like I'm noticing my inner critic is even louder, because I've allowed that, that to win, rather than me getting up and experiencing like more life. And so, yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice, and it's just like, kind of, what do you prioritize? More sleep, more life, more experience, more sleep, and also based on how much sleep you've gotten, because I've also have let myself sleep in too when my body really needed the sleep. Yeah, because it's kind of hard to wake up with the sun when you go to bed, or don't go to bed at all. You just wake up, you just stay up, and well, here's the sunrise. So yeah.
It's one way to watch the sunrise.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's also in that book, Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life, in Ayurveda, they look at the different times of day as having different qualities, energetic qualities that correspond to the doshas, which is an Ayurvedic concept. And essentially the idea is, if you wake up before 8 a.m., there's a rise in energy. If you wake up after 8 a.m., like between 8 and 10 a.m., that's kapha time, which is actually a heavier energy, which is why you may notice that if you sleep past 8, you wake up a little more tired. But if you get up early, there's like a little zing, which is, the only way I can do that is if I go to bed earlier. But love that book. And I'll speak to, for just a second, your question about what is the difference between these dances. Because I don't want to skip over that one. It's really important to me. It's kind of why PhDJ exists. There's such a big difference between different dances, depending on who's holding it, how they're trained, what's the intention, what's the container, what's happening. And there's often a spirit that runs between them. That's like the spirit of dance. Yes, we're in movement where the idea is to be free in our bodies, but there's a huge variation in how safe we feel in those containers, whether those containers actually allow us to move through something that helps us release trauma, stuck energy, whatever you want to call it, and shift into something new. Like a dance that I went to this week that was a transformational container. The way that the DJ did it, there was no shift. It was like, this is great music. It's like going to a hip hop party or a bass music party. And I'm glad I went, because I moved my body and I'm looser, and my breath, like I'm in my hips, and that feels good. But there was no shift in my consciousness, and I didn't have any kind of emotional release, and I didn't move through any kind of depth. And that's because of the way the space was held. And it's a huge part of what we dive into in PhDJ is, how do we actually have and hold and create a dance that has the potential to shift people on a cellular level. And it can look different. The Get Down did that for a lot of people. Like, that definitely happened. A lot of people at the Get Down. It also was not for everybody. I mean, honestly, the Get Down's really not for me at age 37. It's kind of overwhelming. Like, this is so much. I'm really ready for something different. And I'm sure that there's plenty of people who came, and I know there's plenty of people who came to the Get Down and were like, this is cool once, but I'm going to go to yoga or something else. And which is why a big piece of what we teach is like, it's a blueprint. It's a way of thinking about things. It is a skill set, and it's very flexible about what containers it can be applied to. So it could be applied to a club. You could apply those principles to a really banging high energy dance party, like the Get Down, like Primal Disco. You could apply it to an ecstatic dance or a medicine disco, or something that is more low key. And the thing that ties those together is the way that there's like 17,000 things that go into creating that kind of space. Hi, family. And so, yeah, like I kind of love what I'm hearing for you, Golan, is that you show up to a Get Down or an ecstatic dance or a Grateful Dead show, and you have your experience and you get your transformational dance. That's awesome. I have a huge range of different experiences depending on the dance floor that I'm on. And there are some that are really conducive to peak experiences, deep experiences, transformational releases. And there's others that are like, well, at least I moved my body. You know, it's a huge, huge range of quality out there.
Yeah, I felt that, like, you know, if I go to like a show with my parents and there's music and I feel like moving my body, I get up and I dance, but it's different than, you know, I think a common element for me was you. So I guess that speaks to like the way you held the space and stuff. And there was definitely get downs where I felt the shift after. Like I remember being at Cello in New York, which is, you know, regular standard club, and I hate clubs and the, you know, and it's like on a good night I was able to get there from the beginning, where it was like we're doing some kind of meditative practice or yoga or something inside of a club, like to start off at like 6 o'clock. And that really set the space. And like when you were done at like 10 or whenever it was, you know, because I hate to leave places, I would linger. And by like 10:15, the meat market had arrived, and the vibe was like, ugh, like I need to leave. So it's palpable. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing that question. Yeah, we have a few group chats of like the leadership team and cohort 2.0, and I frequently will be at a dance that I find to be that I really wish the DJ would come to PhDJ. And I'll go off the dance floor and I'll text our crew and I'll be like, you guys, this is what's happening right now. Please feel me. Be with me in this experience. This is why we need you. Like, this is why we need an army of folks who are actually know how to do this, because it's so needed. Thanks everybody for staying on. Do we have any final thoughts from, I don't know, one of the leadership folks or anything, or should we dive into a dance? A goodbye dance.
Do the application if you haven't done it, even if it's just for fun.
That's good advice. It's a fun one. Thanks, Michael. All right, let's have a little. Oh, Stephanie, hi.
Hi. I just want to say thanks for the invitation. It's really lovely to see familiar faces from the circle and to hear what y'all are up to. And Michael, it's great to hear where you are. I've had my own journey. Really appreciate the question going of like conscious movement, conscious dance, and so many pieces of what people brought up have intersected part of my journey, because I don't know. I'm certified and whatever, and I don't know. I feel like there's something else, and I don't know what it is, and it's okay to go big and still not know. And I'm excited to move. So keep inviting me, please. I'm really grateful to be on your list, and I hope one day the stars will align back again. And Daphne, I think Garrison One Dance Tribe. I remember you. So it's good to see you too, love. I think you helped me with my suitcase, maybe even. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. I know. You. Beauty. Love it. Love y'all. Let's move. Let's move.
Yay. Thank you, Stephanie. It's so good to have you here. Let me share my audio. Let's go with a little of this.
You're so damn electric, you know you got that juice. You know you got that juice. You know you got that juice. Now squeeze all that passion fruit. Ain't no one fresher than you. Ain't no one fresher than you. And if they try to break you, you say down low, down low, down low. You're number one. Down low, down low, down low. Stop. Now shout. I got the juice. I'm the chaser, don't need a mixer. I got the juice. Baby, I'm the plug in the filter. I got the juice. How many damn times got to tell ya? I got the juice. Baby, I got the juice. Down low. Don't think about it. Down low. Don't think about it. Down low. You're number one. And don't you die. Now go, girl, and use that sauce. If you don't, then that's your loss. If you don't, then that's your loss. Turn it up, don't turn it off. Got everybody looking in your cup. You know they wanna drink it up. You know they wanna drink it up. And if they try to take it, you say down low. Don't think about it. Down low. Don't think about it. Down low. You're number one. And don't you die. Down low. Don't think about it. Down low. Don't think about it. Down low. Don't think about it. Stop. Now shout. I got the juice. I'm the chaser, don't need a mixer. I got the juice. Baby, I'm the plug in the filter. I got the juice. How many damn times got to tell ya? I got the juice. Baby, I got the juice.
It's a freak scene in it, yeah. Wet dream in it. Waking up like wean in it. Me and your jeans in it, yeah. Yellow like pee in it. Oh no, I mean me in it. No, it ain't lean in it, but it's got a little pink in it. Kinda make you wanna drink in it. Got a little cream in it, but I feel a little bean in it. Work me up like caffeine in it. Tripping like an extra large, but the top is too small. Yeah, here let me wipe you off. Look this side, I can't wait to get you home at all. Nah, these cup holders are small. Can't believe what is in it. Tastes like a good time. My brain was foggy in my business. Yeah, short-term memory fried. Brain on. What you got, girl, is tough as shit. Yeah. Can't nothing else fuck with it. Yeah, press please, that fresh squeeze juice. There can never be a supplement.
I got juice for all my lovers. Got juice for all my wives. My juice is my religion. Got juice between my thighs. Now ask the angels, baby. My juice is so divine. Ain't no juice quite like yours. Ain't no juice quite like mine.
Thanks, y'all. I dropped the link to this song in the chat. Oh, I got the juice. I kind of dedicate this song to Lex at Soft Butch tonight. It just really reminds me of that whole vibe. It's so good to see your beautiful faces. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. For those who are coming to join us in January, we are so excited. Yeah, connect with each other. Curtis, just text me if you want to hook up with the LA people too. It starts January 23rd. All right, let's unmute and just say a little good night. Thanks, everybody.
Night.
Night, everyone.
Thank you for sharing.
Bye.
Great connecting with you and hearing all the inspiration.
Yeah, see you later.
Love y'all.
Bye.